Good morning, guys. How are we doing this morning? Blah, 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 blah. Where am I? Okay. Are we Wednesday? Is this Wednesday? Is it Wednesday? Something like that. All this Christmas shopping's frying my brain. Yeah, it's Wednesday. Wednesday the 21st of December. So, morning all. I've been looking, actually, just what the volume's like, and strangely enough, there seemed more volume yesterday. Look at the sort of difference as I sort of compress it. There seemed to be a lot more volume yesterday than they did the day before. You tend to think it's going to sort of slowly flatten off, but it actually picked up yesterday. So strangely enough, and we had this sort of big, sort of slow, messy sort of uptrend. It was quite a excuse me. Morning, Sam. Morning, what? How are you? I'm great, mate. I'm great. I'll be great come Christmas Eve when all the spending's done, all the wrapping's done, and I'm off. I like Christmas. I love Christmas. But I got one of these sort of fussy wives that buys everyone presents, and then it's got to give everyone socks, and and it's all the little fiddly stuff. And then it's all got to be delivered, and we always say, or I always say every year, this time around we're going to get it all done, wrapped, delivered a week before Christmas, so we can sit back, relax, watch some nice Christmas TV, have a little drink. But it never happens. We're always running around till the last minute on Christmas Eve, and I've got a funny feeling it's going to be the same again. So my head's a bit fried at the moment. So yeah, yesterday was a bit of a funny old day, wasn't it? It was we had this sort of relatively this sort of uptrend, but there wasn't a fantastic amount of setups, really. It's certainly easier to look back and pick setups, but there wasn't a huge amount around. And I sort of scrappily, I think I lost a trade first, and then I sort of won two and got into the green, and then got out with a couple of $100 in the end. I just had enough in the end. I think we did what about? Excuse me, let me just make a cough a minute. Hold on a second. Sorry, just coming out of this cold, so everything's a bit dry and a bit. Let me have a sweet cough. Accountability King, morning. What did you watch? Taylor's Bar by Bar. I can't remember now. I watched some. I might not have done, actually. I watched V. Wilson's, a bit of his. I can't remember what happened last night because it was quite a long day, wasn't it? I think we traded for about 5 hours or something. So I don't know. Let me just click over. Yeah, there wasn't a huge amount of setups around yesterday. Sorry, my throat's just dry at the moment. I think I only watched the one last night. I'm just trying to see which ones I watched 13 hours ago. I started to watch it, and something happened because I've just got a little bit of red bar. Got it in front of me 13 hours ago, 26 minutes, 28 seconds. So I'll finish that later. But time was ticking on yesterday. I went down and we had I cooked Indian rice dish. I forget what it's called. So we ended up late, and so it was just everything happened a bit late last night. So I will catch up that later. Nicholas, how you doing, buddy? So we've got some news today. It's that 3 o'clock, isn't it? So it's going to be about 30 minutes now. Consumer confidence. I don't know what's expected. I'm not sure about that one, so I'll just keep an eye on that. Don't want to get stuck into there. There is. So we opened this morning or late last night, or depending on where you are. We had a couple of legs up, and we seem to have a bit of an uptrend at the moment. Whether it turns into a channel, I don't know, but obviously every time we go up, we're getting a bit higher and higher. So at the moment, I'm thinking uptrend. And I thought that yesterday also because I'm looking at the the daily, and obviously we've been in this sort of downtrend since sort of mid-March, and every time we come up to the top of the line we're having push downs. But if you look, we had a really, really strong push down, didn't we? So I was sort of expecting a bit of a pullback, which is a little bit of an uptrend, obviously, you know, on the 2000 tick chart, which we sort of had yesterday, and I think we may get something similar today. This just gives me an idea of where it might go. It just puts an extra couple of points, sort of. And also let's have a look. Hey, Keith, how you doing, buddy? And obviously on the 10,000 tick chart as well. So far, looks like we've got a bit of an uptrend, which again I was expecting. Excuse me. So the daily, yeah, it's looking. We've had a really, really strong push down, and it looks to me like we're having a bit of a pullback. And same on the 10,000. And we had a part of that pullback yesterday. Maybe all of it, maybe not much of it, but I'm thinking, upwards throughout the day. So that will just give us an idea. Biryani, that's the word I was looking for. Cheers, Sam. I bought a book called Misty Ricardo's Curries, and he makes curries exactly like the Indian restaurants. They're a pain in the arse, they take a bit of time, but they do taste nice. So my wife and daughter have been saying, when are you going to do one of your biryanis? So I sort of got stuck in it last night. So we finished late anyway. And then obviously by the time I'd done that and we cleaned up, it was getting on a bit. And I had to get up early this morning. I had a dentist 8 o'clock, which is early for a dentist. So I was out the house pretty early this morning. So hence I didn't have much time to look through other traders' charts. But I will catch up later. So where are we now? So market opens in sorry, I'm just going to switch my mic off so I can have a good coffee. My mouth's dry at the moment. There we go. My apologies. So I've had a cold for a couple of weeks, and I keep talking quite a bit. My mouth goes a bit dry, so I'm topping myself up with coffee, which probably isn't the best thing. Leading loser morning, buddy. RG, is that what I say? RGE. Rage, RGE. See, once I start getting to know you guys, RGE. I'll call you RGE, yeah. Okay, RGE. Morning. Lead and lose morning. What day is it? It's Wednesday, isn't it? Okay, so we've had this initial sort of bit of a push up, and we're sort of going a little bit sideways here. So I have drawn a range channel as well, and the reason I've drawn it is obviously I've drawn up to the overnight highs here, which we sort of respected, and there's a little bit of it's holding a bit there, and also here as well. So I suppose there's a possibility we may come, but I mean at the moment it's looking uppish as we've started. But that's why I tend to not do any trading really until the market opens, because I like to see it established to give us a bit of an idea where it might go. Because if you start jumping in here, you don't know whether we're going up or you know what I mean. So I leave it alone now. I used to come in here at the crack of dawn and sit there for hours and watch it bar moves, but I think you learn after a while, don't you? There's nothing worse than trading when it's really slow. Yes. So RGE. RGE, yeah. Okay, I'll call you RGE. Okay. Who else we got? Okay, we've got a few in. There is obviously some that sort of sit in the background and don't are not as talkative, which is fair enough. So let's have a look. Okay, so there's definitely some volume. So I thought it might get harder and harder, but as I can see yesterday, if you look at the daily there and look at the daily here, it's actually increased yesterday. So okay, that makes sense. So are you Roger? Are you Raymond? Are you Rick? I don't mind saying my first name. You know my name's Lance, but I don't mind. Some people don't like it. Some people want to keep themselves a bit incognito, which is fair enough. Fair enough. I'm on my Facebook and everything, so I just put my full name, so it's probably not the wisest thing to do. So, okay, market opens in just over a minute on my with my timer up here. I think you guys are about 20 seconds behind. Morning, Brant. How you doing, buddy? More volume than I was expecting. Yeah, as I flicked back yesterday, look, we had more volume yesterday than the day before. I thought it'd be the other way around. I thought it'd just sort of, it'd feather off and we'd end up maybe on Friday with like 3 bars. But yeah, perhaps, I don't know, perhaps the majority of traders are still working. I mean, it's still a working week, isn't it? And obviously, how Christmas falls, I think it's just classed as a normal week. I dare say maybe tomorrow. I think Friday will be a lot quieter. In fact, I'm working Friday, so I just thought there's no point. So I think today and tomorrow we may get some decent volume through it, but I think Friday is probably going to be a quieter day. But if you like watching paint dry, perhaps Friday's the day for you. So, but yeah, I'm going to work Friday, so I won't be trading. Dreamer Trades, morning. We have some news at 10. Yeah, I've got it up here. 3 o'clock in our house. Consumer confidence. I don't know what's expected there. And big news tomorrow. What is it tomorrow? Is it the NFP tomorrow? Is it? I'm not too sure. I think it's the NFP tomorrow, isn't it? There is a couple of sites I do check sometimes, but I've got to say this that I've got on here is about as reliable. Maybe why volume is higher. Yeah. Good job yesterday. You finished pretty early. Kept an eye on your stream. Yeah, we went for 5 hours. Do you know, I think what it is all the videos I've put up so far, which is about 13, they've all had green days. So you just, you've got that thing. You just don't want to, you don't want to have a red day. I'm not going to, I wasn't going to force it. And you are going to have days, but I've had just such a nice run. I just wanted to try and keep it going as long as I can. So market's open, but it hasn't really done a great deal. Obviously, people, I'm assuming, are sitting around waiting on the news, which is why it may be going a little bit sideways. GDP, gross domestic product. That's all goods and services, isn't it, I think? So that's tomorrow, yeah. So that will be big news, won't it? Yeah, give us an idea on the state of the economy. Okay, so see what happens here. So we've had a push down there a little bit, so I was going to push down again. So let's see if we do bounce off here again. If we do bounce off here, then I'm thinking, yeah, then maybe I'll get a bit of a trend channel. GDP growth, AK. Let's keep redefining what a recession is. Yeah. Well, I think things are starting to improve a little, aren't they? And a little's better than nothing, isn't it? But it was always going to happen. The amount of money that was, was thrown around during lockdown, and the amount of businesses that were shut down, and people. I know in the UK, people were just sent home, and the government were paying 85% of their wages or 80% of their wages. So there was that much money injected into COVID. It was worldwide, so it was always going to be the case. There was always going to be a payback period, and there was always going to be, it was always going to affect the economy. You can't literally send people home and pay them for a long period of time without it having some repercussions. In fact, I'm surprised it hasn't actually been a lot worse than it has. So, but if we're slowly, I don't know, we're officially in recession now. I don't know about the US. It's supposed to, what is it, 3 quarters? Is it 3 quarters? I think it's 3 months or 3/4. 3 quarterlies. Without growth, I think the class is recession. I can't remember. But I think we are slowly moving in the right direction. Obviously, Christmas will help. Everyone's going out spending the money, so that'll inject a little bit more money into the economy. Obviously, restaurants do a little bit better at Christmas, and obviously, the likes of Amazon are going to make a shed load of money. That's for certain. You know, I can see in years to come, there's only going to be one shop. That is it. Nothing else. One shop in the world, Amazon. They're going to supply everything. So look in the US halfway through the year, we had two quarters of negative growth, and then the Fed went really fine. Yeah, I think it's the same here. I think if we get 3 quarters, excuse me, 3 quarters of negative growth, it's officially a recession. I don't know whether the US works the same as the UK or not. I'm not too sure. Okay, so let's have a look here. It has held there, if you look, and it's pushing up. So if I get into something there, it'll be with a higher low, but it obviously depends where it is in relation to the news. Mm. See, we might get this measured move. Let's see if we do push back into it. It'd be nice to get some setups today. You know, I mean, the weird thing is, you wouldn't think with a little bit less volume it would make a difference with setups. You'd just think it was less volume. You know, obviously there's less volume going through it. You wouldn't think it'd make a difference with setups because, you know, there's plenty of pushes up and pushes down, isn't there? So if you can take a trade at the right area, you get a decent push up and obviously vice versa to the downside. Okay, so we've had a push up here now. Let's see what happens, see if we can get above this EMA. I did look at that, but I think it's a bit risky for me. I think it's likely going to push up, but I don't like them. I think it's likely it's going to come up, but you just never. Hey, Jacko, how you doing, buddy? Let's have a look. Is this going to get stopped out? It may do. It's a nice bar. I mean, if we've started here, we've touched a couple of times. It's clearly held there. So you think, okay, so we've had a bit of a break followed by a nice bearish bar finish on its highs. But at the moment, it's just a little bit risky, isn't it? If we can get a lower high above that EMA, or a higher low, then maybe we'll push back into here. Where's the tops finishing? Here and here. Okay. So. Okay, so on the 10,000 tick chart, I just like to look at this. It gives me a little bit. So we've come up, we've come back to the EMA, come up, EMA, up, EMA. So I am expecting a possible move up. It has ticked below here. But I think for me to take a lower high, it's got to be above the EMA. I don't like the fact the EMA is pointing down. I like to get above it, really. So it's probably going to be a failure in that case if we can get back in. It's just a little bit too sideways. Okay, that's quite, let's see where it finishes. That's quite positive. May, let's see how it finishes. Oh, no, it's a bit risky, that is. If it went a little bit up, I may try and get a limit order back here somewhere. Let's see if we can get a failure. Let's get a limit order ready. Let's get an order ready. Okay, so we've had it looks like it's a failed breakout. So we've had one a higher low. I just don't like the way it closed there. It might have been a little bit better on your charts. Scan your stream when I reviewed yesterday. Cheers on finishing green. Yeah, it's always nice, especially when you've had a good run of it. You sort of want to keep it going as long as you can. Is that how I say your name? Is it Eketri? Eketri? Had a nice trap on my chart where the lower the line was, one tick above the green. The reversal got 2 points. Well done. Good on you. Good on you. So I'm just trying to think. You're on about the trap here. Because I suppose when we got the new high, try to go once, try to go twice, it could have been a possible trap which triggered. That might be why we had a bit of a push up, but I was hoping we can get a failure. It's just typical, isn't it? It's done this every day for the last 2 days. Just took off. It doesn't give you a chance to get an entry. I did look at that. If that had finished on its high, then I would have perhaps looked to take a limit order. But the trouble is that was what is it? 3.5? Was it 3.5? No, perhaps it wasn't as big as I thought. But obviously, tick above, tick below, 4 points. And it is a little bit sidewaysy, so it did make me a little bit nervous. Let's see what happens here. Let's see if this is a second entry short. Right, that's a second entry short. I'm just wondering if people are going to be thinking we're going to... So I may... Let's have a look. First entry. This is a failure. Let's see how this ends. So we've had a push up. I'm thinking another push up to these highs. So let's see how this finishes. May come careering down, but if it finishes bullish, it's a reasonably small bar as well, so I'm just hoping it finishes bullish. Let's have a look. Let me just pick this up a bit. Yeah, I've got a funny feeling it's not going to... Let's just get rid of that a minute. Okay. That's just not done what I thought. We've had this failed breakout, push back in, and we come straight back out. Obviously, this is not guaranteed, but just the way it's acted here, here, and here. But it's pushed back nearly as far. Excuse me. This looking for a swing low. I think that's too big of a swing low, isn't it? Considering we've pushed in strongly, but we've come straight back out more or less where we started to take off, which is making me nervous. I'm thinking we're going to come down a bit lower here. So if we've had a break, so even if we move this down here, I suppose that's possible, isn't it? Let's have a look. Trouble is, you've got to be careful, keep extending and extending and extending. Let's have a look. See how this finishes. Yeah, that's a bit risky. I don't like what's happening there. It's a little bit sideways. If I went long there, I wouldn't be shocked if it ticked above and then made a second leg. Very high lag, I can see. Yeah, it gets higher than this sometimes. It doesn't seem to make a difference. Time sync tool. I don't even know what that is, mate. Time sync tool. I have mentioned that in the past to people and they've gone, don't worry about it. And I have noticed on some other charts. EMA is very flat at the moment. There is a failure, but it's under the EMA. I did think about taking a limit order here and just see if I can get a push, but See if we can get something else. Where's this news? 15 minutes. It's just a bit sideways, isn't it? That's possibly because of the news. And the trouble is, there's nothing worse getting into a trade and being stuck in it, going sideways. Because guarantee, I've done that before. I've got into a trade sort of here, like 20 minutes before the news, and it's just gone here slowly like that, and you're stuck in the middle of it. And then you take it as long as you think you can until the news kicks in, but then you end up just coming out of it, and it's just stressful, I find. So I just you took that one, did you? Yeah. The only reason that I didn't is because we had that quite strong push up and we came down just as quick, and it finished bullish, but it finished it under the EMA. It's a bit flat, so for me, I wasn't convinced it wasn't going to do this and then come down, and that was going to be your break. Yeah, even if we get a lower high here, I'd still be a bit nervous because I don't know whether it's going to keep doing this. Okay, there's your possible lower high. Let's see what happens. Okay. Let's get an order ready, see what happens. Yeah, I'm staying out of this. It's just going sideways for me, and I think that's possibly to do with the news. And it's easy to get stuck in a trade here and end up, I mean, it could push straight up, but let me have a look. What's it? 10, 12, so it's 3 points top and bottom, isn't it? Let's see. Okay. Okay, let's have a go. I don't like it. I don't like it. It could quite easily push up here, but the way it's gone sideways is telling me it's because of the news, so I wouldn't be shocked if it went up here a bit and came back down to here. So I'm leaving it alone at the moment. It has triggered. There may be some shorts in there, so if we can get above here, it may have a push, but I just think it's risky at the moment. Nothing worse being stuck in a trade. If it gets above here, I think it might push a bit more, but see how far it'll go. Where's it gone? 1.5. Okay, that's ticked above there, isn't it? Yeah, it has. So I would have come probably here a bit, but she was stopped out at 3. Okay, so you got something, didn't you? Same issue as yesterday, uptrend, a fade back into the range, best to follow the small, yeah, it may make a new high, the way it's moving. I don't like the way it's just floating there, see? Could come back in here. Let's have a look. If you weren't expecting the news, then I'd have taken that one. What did it go for? Because I'd have probably, if I'm not sure it's going to go high, I'll probably just take the 3.5. So if I'd have had 3.5 points, that would have made a trade. Yeah, okay. That's fine. I've got no problem with leaving it. It's going sideways up to the news. That just makes me a little bit wary. Longing the highs, tight range like this. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it made the points, didn't it? But, I think it's okay to be cautious, especially if it's going sideways. And obviously that's leading up to the news. So that tells me generally traders are keeping out of it a little bit. And it's easy to sort of get in a trade and then get stuck for a bit. I've done it before and it's just not a nice feeling. I like to see a nice solid entry and then just, have the confidence to get in there, but my confidence is a bit wary at the moment, see, so if you're thinking along that line, it's probably best to stay out. Yes, Jacko, yeah, sitting on your hands. I mean, it could quite easily keep going up. It might do, but while it's telling me that, I think it's a bit risky. I suppose if you look at it like this, it was a second entry long. It was a higher low, but it's just the way it's going into the top of this. That's making me nervous. What's the news? Okay, 11 minutes. Let's see what happens to the news. Okay, so I think we can say so far a bit of an uptrend, but let's see what happens. It may come down, so this might be just an uptrend within a range. So let's just put that there for now. Oh, hold on. Let's put that there so at least we know when it's broken that high. Because I think it's fair to say that's a break. Not a massive convincing one, but it came out and went in, so we'll call it a break. I've kept it tight there. It's at the bottom there. I mean, it could be that that's a break, but regardless whether it's there or there, we still expect it to break this new high. So it doesn't really matter where the break was, but we're after making this new high, and if it touches up here or gets close to it, then maybe we're coming back into this sort of range area. Nathan, how you doing, buddy? What news are you guys waiting for? Well, on my chart, it's the consumer confidence, which is in about 9.5 minutes. So I don't know what's expected of it. Consumer confidence and home sales. But yeah, it's just a bit. Is it medium impact? Well, it's got high impact on mine, so I do have medium as well. And I'll tell you what, I just had for a year or so. I had high, but then there was a quick move a week or two ago. Luckily, I didn't get stopped out. It went in my favour, but apparently someone said that they had a medium impact news out, and that's what happened. So I thought I might introduce the medium. At least then I'm aware of it. So we haven't broken this high yet. So let's see what happens. I mean, if we break it and we continue up, we'll see what happens. But we could come up here and hit it, or not quite hit it, and then come back. Perhaps it may come into this range, because you can have an uptrend in a range. Funny, yours says high, mine says medium. Is yours the same? Let's have a look. Indicators. That's it, I think, isn't it? Yeah, it's that. It's something I got off Mac, that is. The AWX economic news. That's it, I think. So whether you've got that same, different, yeah. I've got home sales and home prices, but nothing else. Home sales and home prices, I suppose they could come under the same umbrella, couldn't they? Consumer confidence. Oh, we don't use Mac stuff. Well, I was with Mac for a year, but my year ran out beginning of June, so I haven't gone back in. I didn't think I needed to, really. I've watched his videos so many times, and now I just tend to sort of learn on the job and learn off others. But I still have his manual, which I do browse from time to time. See what happens here. Where's this news? 7 minutes. I need to change that. 80% ran out last night. I did get a little ping. Somebody took a couple of somebody used my code and took a couple of valuations. Was it a 50,000 or 25,000? So whoever that was, much appreciated. I'll have to change that. Actually, it's now gone back to 50%. But yeah, it doesn't cost you guys anything. That's the only reason I've got it there. I'm not interested in making money off other guys. Not at their expense. Got another DHL van outside. We've had van after van after van this morning. Let's have a look. Okay, so we haven't hit that high. See what happens when we come down to here. We've had quite a strong push up through the EMA. May come down a bit more before we go high. We may not. It's maybe where it starts to come down. News is in 5 minutes. So let's see what happens. Sometimes you get this high impact news and nothing happens. I suppose if they're expecting it, if it's expected, they don't tend to get too excited about it. But if the news is worse than they expect it, sometimes we can get that drop. Morning, Emily. How are you? It's you're up early again. Hi guys, I bought 3 values. Want to see how I go on them. Well, good luck. Take your time. But I think it's useful. If you've not done any evaluations, it's useful to get that feeling of having risk, because ultimately that's going to be the hard part of trading. Just in case you haven't had any before, you may have done, but that's the difficult bit to overcome. But some people are okay with it. I just need telling 50 times I do, really. I tend to, takes me a while to get it through my thick head sometimes, but good luck, Emily. It's quite exciting when you do one, isn't it? But yeah, just take your time. But just be aware of the emotions if things go wrong. But that's the biggest problem. When things go wrong, you tend to jump back in quick. And that's where things get hard. It can sort of take over you, really. It almost feels like, I mean, I talked to another trader, Marlon, regularly, and he says he described it exactly like me. It's almost like somebody takes over. It's quite uncanny, really. So take your time, enjoy them, learn from them. And it's exciting, but it is good to get the experience of what it feels like. Jacko, good luck, Emily. Yeah. Good luck, Emily. Expectation is for confidence to be low. Okay. So we just got to see how the markets react. Brands, Apex posted a more detailed explanation of the new 30% and 20% rules in their consistency. I don't like the sound of consistency rules. Explanation of their new 30% and 20% rules in consistency. I don't like the sound of that. 20%, 30 and 20% consistency rules. See, the only consistency rules I was aware of, really, the important ones are the ones that if I'm doing 5 contracts now and I make 5,000 quid in a day, that I spend the next 9 days doing 1 micro a day. I think if you're trading normally, which I am at the moment, I'm taking anywhere between a trade and four trades a day. I'm sticking to 2 contracts. You can't get any more consistency. Explanation of the new 30% and 20% rules. It's actually not bad. It's mainly to prevent windfall traders and gamblers. Yeah, that's okay. As long as I get it. I mean, there'll be a clear difference between someone who's generally trading, to learn and to do it, to make a living. I think there'll be a clear difference at the gamblers and the guys trying to hit it quick. Because, I mean, technically on this $50,000 account, I can do 10 contracts if I want. I mean, you wouldn't even, 1 loss and you'd be knackered, but it is possible You know, if you've got a decent sort of setup here and did 10 contracts and rode it up here, you could make yourself a few £1,000. And that's all good and well. But then for the next 9 days, if you decided to take 1 micro, 1 point, you're clearly trying to manipulate the system, so that's understandable. If you get 1 day with a really big run, but it's still your setup and plan, you always trade, you should be fine, yeah. Because sometimes, you know, if I take, say, a short up here, and then I take a lower high short, I've got 2 trades in the game. If then the market just seems to go down and down and down, and I follow it, if I end up with 20 points, I could hit $4,000 in a day. You know, and as long as it's, because I know a lot of how the sniper system, they do have a lot of runners, they hold and cap some big moves. So it's not unusual for them to, even on a couple of contracts, to hit $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 in a day. So I think as long as you, that's another reason why I decided to stream. So, you know, anyone for Apex can look through my chart and see exactly what I'm doing, exactly what I'm talking about, and there's no, as far as I'm concerned, there's no discrepancies whatsoever on my trading. So, okay, so we got a second entry long here. The fact that it hasn't hit this high, and we've come out again. Okay, here's the news. A little bit of a bounce. Let's see where we're going to go. Yeah, it does look like nothing major. A bit of a push, but this wasn't nothing special, was it? Just pushing it back in. Is it slightly on the positive side, which I guess we've had a new low, haven't we? It's just these highs make me nervous. So see what I mean? If you drop this down again, you could say this is the breakout now. So, but regardless of whether it's this or this, we haven't made a new high anyway. So at the moment, I'm still thinking bullish. News hasn't really done a lot, to be honest with you. About a 7 or 8 tick point bar, something like that, and that's it. Back to normal, more or less. Anyone know what the 20% flipping rule is? I think the flipping, I had the flipping described to me as finishing the rest of the days on a massively lower contract. Because I remember asking the question once. I passed the evaluation in about 5 days. And I asked if, can I do a micro, and they went, yeah, flipping's allowed on the evaluations, but not. So I believe that's what flipping is. So as long as you're just trading normal, I mean, if you go 10 contracts one day and do a micro for the next, then there's going to be questions. Push up, a bit of sideways push up. That to me is 2 legs. Let's see if we can break this high. Okay, so let's call that the break for now. See if we break the high. It looks like we may. Okay, so the news didn't really do a great deal. Okay, there's our new. Not quite, we've matched it. I just put that line there just to see if we ended up, the body of it finished exactly the same place. But it's clearly pushed above that, so let's see if we make a new high. I think we might do by the looks of things. Hey Fife, how you doing, bud? How you doing? Okay, so we have broken above that. So there's our new high, so we'll call that the break. Regardless, it didn't matter whether it was that one, or that one. This hadn't made a new high, so let's see how high we get. Whether this range is going to continue. Channel is going to continue, sorry. Just went long at 3980. 3980. 3880, I think, yeah. 3 9's up here somewhere. 39, yeah. 3880, I think. There. Is that right? So you went above this one, did you? Okay, so you've got a few points there, haven't you? 4 or 5 points, whatever you've gone up. See what happens here now we've broke this, whether we're going to come back. You know, another lifetime I'd have taken a short there, but I've given up now. They're unreliable. They probably only work 50% of the time. Can't have more than 20% of counted days. You flipping the contract for a tick or two. Yeah. The trade days. Yes, I don't think that's a problem, is it? Old daddy. Morning, buddy. Morning. Dream trades. Have I said hello to you? I think I have, haven't I? Yeah, big resistance at 3886. Yeah, it's just where this, there's nothing else. Everything was below that, wasn't it? Nothing about there, really. Now let's see if we continue on again. 20% rule means you can't have more than 20% of your counted trading days be you just flipping contract for a tick or two. 20%, yeah. Because, I mean, let's say, for instance, I'm in a trade now and it starts to go sideways and I get a bit worried and I come out of it with a tick. That's okay. But if I'm doing that 20% of the time, there's obviously, you know, some sort of suspicion there. You may do that a couple of percent of the time, 5%, if that. I mean, most of the time we take our points, don't we? But there has been a push there, but in my opinion, I think that's risky, as we've just broken these highs. So 10 days to qualify for next payout. Can't have more than 2 days where you had a trade that was just a scratch. Can't have more than 2 days. I don't know whether I like the sound of that. So what do they do then in that case? Take that trade off you or close your account? I can't see that's right. So look, so 10 days to qualify. Next payout. Can't have more than 2 days where you had a trade. So if you come out of a trade because it was going sideways on 3 days, they would have an issue with that. That sounds a bit harsh because some days things don't go well. It does make you wonder whether they are genuinely trying to stop gamblers or you know, people who are just trying to hit the big time, or whether sometimes they're just getting a bit finicky and trying to, you know, make it. I can't see how they purposely make it difficult for traders because people would kick off, wouldn't they? Because as far as I'm concerned, I had there's been probably a couple of days where I've taken a trade and come out of it, maybe with a few ticks, which is okay, isn't it? As long as I'm taking general setups. You don't lose your account or your profit. You just have to keep trading until you have. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Well, that's all right then. I've got no problem with that. As long as you don't lose your money in there, you know, if it's okay for them to say, well, you need another couple of days, that's fine. I've not got a problem with that. Because some days, you know, like I had a scrappy day the other day where you just get a bit unnerved. It goes up a bit, then it comes back, and you get out of it for a few ticks maybe, and that's okay. It works that way sometimes, you know. Sometimes if you get into a trade here and it starts going sideways, you know, the sensible thing to do in some cases is to get out of it. So that's fine. As long as they don't screw you when it comes to your money, that's fine, because it can take a lot of time. You know, the plan for me is when I can get a payment is to go down to just working on Saturdays and Sundays, because that makes sense to me. Then I can trade full time then. So obviously I'm going to be putting a lot of time and effort into, doing it full time. So, okay. RGE, let's have a look. With the trading drawdown, it's very difficult just to flip a coin and go all in on one trade. Yeah. I mean, it's clear. Do you have to delay on yours? Do I have a delay? I believe it's about 20 seconds, something like that. But yeah, I believe it's about 20 seconds. I don't think there's a way around that. Because every time, well, who's the other guy that done the live stream? Is the Panda guy is the only one I know. So I don't think there's a way around it. I'm not sure. So that's you'll be fine because you trade a set plan. Yeah, they're watching for people. You make fight. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just me being paranoid, I think. But when you put such a lot of time and effort and money into it, and then you start to hear through the rules, and you think, oh, you know what I mean? I think they're just generally after people who are trying to screw the system on you, which is fair enough. I wasn't expecting this strong push up from here, actually. I wasn't. I'm glad the bars are getting a bit smaller. ATR's coming down. So far, we're in a bit of an uptrend, aren't we, Brant? Do you think? You don't want another $5 million on it, do you? Because I think you owe me $10 million at the moment, which I haven't had yet. Yeah, it's certainly uptrending at the moment, Brant. Oh, my noodles are going cold. Oh, cold now. You just need to keep trading. The strange thing is, I was going to make full of noodles here. What was I just going to say? Yeah, I was looking back on my chart. This is an uptrend. Close at 6 points. I don't know, actually. In fact, I think it was a couple of days before you mentioned it coming down or going up, and it started to go up. So I said, well, not to tell you. So, what laptop? I'm not using a laptop, but I'm using a desktop unit. Something I built, actually. First computer I ever built. I was looking out for something. There was something I specifically wanted, so I thought, I like a challenge, so I thought I'll buy one. So I bought the components and built it, downloaded Windows, wired it all together, and it worked first time. I was quite stunned, to be honest with you. So that's what I use, and I have some screens. I had 4, I've got 3 now. One of them fell on my fist 3 times accidentally. So yeah, so I use a desktop, but when I start to get some money coming in, I will buy a laptop just as a little backup, just in case our internet ever went down and I could maybe nip to a family member's house, or I could sit in McDonald's all day and trade. Or if I ever go on a holiday and we decide to stay a little bit longer, then I might trade for a couple hours a day or something like that. So it's useful to have a backup. But yeah, this is a desktop unit. This is you and me both. Albert, you're a new face. Welcome. Where are you from, Albert? Albert Lopez. I'm looking at that second name and thinking you may be the US somewhere. Also, I'm looking forward to your journey. Today is my second day on a PA. Oh, PA, excellent. Okay, so you're feeling something like the way I'm feeling at the moment, are you? Good for you, mate. Good for you, Albert. It's nice. It's quite an exciting feeling, isn't it? Well, it can be an exciting feeling when it goes wrong, but fingers crossed yours won't. Is it your first PA account? Portland, yeah, I thought as much. Portland, US. Excellent. Yeah, good luck to you, my friend. Good luck. It's an exciting time, isn't it? Feel like you're starting to get somewhere in the world finally. Yeah, brilliant. Good luck. Take your time. Try and enjoy it, although it'll probably feel like a bloody nightmare at times. But I think before this, the longest I got was 6 days. and that was purely accidental, I think. But I just wasn't in the right mind frame. I needed to take some time off. I think I had a week and a half off, clear off to try and clear my head. Because at this time, it does mess with your head at times. But I like the way you've gone for the 25,000 one. Keep it nice and cheap. If you're going to learn, it's the 7th. Yeah, this was my 9th. Okay, so you're beating me. Yeah, this is my 9th. But it's okay. You know, it takes, as I've said before, it takes time and exposure to those feelings to start to get used to them. I don't think the answer to being able to deal with the emotions is any more complicated than that. That's all I think it is. Anything in life where we have emotions, you have a period of time where you can't deal with them, but sooner or later they start to, calm down. They don't affect you as much. So I think the answer to trading and the psychological side of it is no more complicated than time. So good luck. Keep hooking up with us and letting us know how you're getting on. I do love to hear about people doing well because it gives me hope. And it's a nice feeling because, it wasn't long ago I was questioning, am I ever going to be able to do this? And look at me now. I passed an evaluation in front of you guys and I'm on my PA and I'm $120 from $3,000. So I'm aiming in the right direction. So it's all good. It's all mental. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I did read in Mark Douglas's book, he said, when you can deal with the mental side of it, trading is easy. And really, it's about learning to read the charts, learning the strategies, and that's purely and simply time and, experience. You get better and better at it. So that is more or less a formality. You've just got to keep doing it. And I think, the psychological side's the same. But yeah, that's the toughest part, I think. Because it can mess with your head at times. And, you do have days where I felt physically sick sometimes when I lost accounts. And, I felt like I was losing control at times because I'd get my card out and I'd pay for it at 8% evaluation. I'd blow it in 10 minutes and I'd do another account. I did about 6 in one day and I just felt out of control. It's a horrible feeling when it's happening. But, I suppose it's just part of it. But I did think, God, am I like some sort of a freaky gambler and I can't control myself. So I did have all sorts of weird things going through my head. Gotta say. But yeah, take your time because when it's working okay, it's a nice feeling. So just, be careful. Wait for genuine setups. And regardless of whether you win or lose them, put it aside or deal with it however you think you can. And then get back to it. But for me, that was the toughest part, getting back to picking a genuine trade after I lost. I just wouldn't wait that long. And in some cases, market starts going up, I just click buy. Market was coming down, I just click sell. Sometimes I did sell 5 times and take the full 10 contracts. And I was just purely just guessing, just out of, frustration. So what you're saying is evals are like meth. Well, I've never tried meth, but I have watched Breaking Bad, so I'd say it's probably something on the lines of that. Probably more acid, actually. Take me back to my 20s, that is. But I haven't had any types of drugs for years, but I did go through a period of time experimenting like most of us do. But yeah, I think it's probably like acid, I think. Yeah, it reminds me back to my days picking mushrooms. Yeah, they mess with your head, so I think, yeah, very, very similar. Okay, so there seems to be 2 legs down here. Let's have a look. Let me get these short-term trend channels drawn, otherwise I'm going to get myself in a mess. Okay, that looks good to me. So we've had a break, new high, once, twice. But this looks like 2 lovely legs, and for me, I'm thinking bullish at the moment. That I don't like. I prefer to come down a little closer. 3886 gives away. We'll be looking for a short. 3886. Way down here. Look at this, see. It's quite a chunky old bar, that. bit sideways for me. That's a trade I'm going to just stay out of for the time being. I don't like the way it's doing that. Broken out. We've had a short-term trend channel. We've had a break. We've had a new high. Trying to go on striker. Could come back here again. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that could give us a better picture. Maybe here or something. I don't think there is really. Long, yeah. I mean, that's well, you've got that one. It's not technically a second entry, but if you look, it's got 2 clear pushes down, so that may work. But purely because it's going sideways, I've been stung so many times there. It has ticked above, but it is going sideways, and when it goes sideways, that's uncertainty. So you've got traders thinking it's coming down, traders thinking it's going up, traders thinking it's coming down, and you get this sideways movement. And the trouble is sometimes the outcome can be 50-50. It may come back here a bit first. I'm not saying it's not going to take off, but when it's all sideways like that, it's just risky. If that would have dropped down below here a bit and been nice and bullish, then if the bottom of the bar had been here, then I'd be more concerned. More interested in going. Second entry long right here. So you're in there now, are you? Let's see. Out for 1 point. Yeah. Might go a bit higher. But when it's like this, yeah, I think the sensible bit is to grab a bit of profit. See what I mean? It seems to be coming back. See, I'll be getting a bit nervous now. 4 ticks, yeah. Keith, you got one as well, yeah. See what I mean? Coming back, so I'll be. What did it go up a point? Oh, you're in it. So it went up to, yeah, it would have ticked above for 6 ticks if you'd have got it. Okay, up it goes. Yeah, there's a bit of a lower high or a higher low. Trouble is, there's nothing above it, is there, CISO? I just can't bring myself to go long there. My longs have got to be below this so I can push up to it, but it's above everything else at the moment, so who knows where it's going to go. It may just continue higher. Yeah, see on the 10,000 tick chart, it does look like it's at the top of these, isn't it? So it does look like it may start to feather out and come back a bit. We certainly had that pullback. Here's the daily that I was expecting. We had such a strong push down scene. You can't sustain that for long without having a bit of a pullback, and we have. So I'm thinking it's coming possibly back below here. Trouble is, it's gone up a little bit, isn't it? Where does it stop? That's the trouble. The strange thing is, sometimes when you think it can't go any higher, it'll pull back a little bit and off it'll rocket again. It's amazing sometimes when you think it can't go much higher, it'll have a little pullback and it'll just keep going. It's surprising some days how the hell the market gets there. Why do people keep buying? You're thinking surely it's got to slow down, but it just keeps going. Should be choppy. You're not wrong, mate. And why did it go? Yeah, so you'd have got your 2 1/4. It would have ticked if you had 2 1/4. If you had 2 points. Excuse me. You got 5 ticks. Yeah, not too bad. Good on you, Keith. Better get something than nothing, isn't it? If you can. I don't think it was a bad bar. It's just the way it was going sideways made it a bit risky. So we've had this push up, haven't we? I think we may. Let's have a look. Okay, so you got a few legs there, haven't you? I think we may. I'm going to do that there. Get a second leg up, I think. I'm surprised we pushed so strongly up and we're going sideways again, so I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of the time, if you look, you know, it'll push up, it'll go a bit sideways and push up again. Push up, I mean, that's clear break and a new high, bit of sideways. Because sometimes you just can't keep going up at that pace. Quicker it goes up, quicker it comes down, so it's always good to have a bit of a correction. So I wouldn't be shocked if we came down here a little bit and then pushed up. It may not even come down here, it depends how, but it seems quite strong at the moment. So I'm thinking, I think we're going to get a second leg up here. So if I can get a decent entry that's not in the middle of that, because I am thinking uptrend so far, it's quite nice. We've had that break. In fact, that break could probably even maybe get taken away now because we've continued up and we're still going a bit higher. So may turn that into a spiking channel, something like that. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's not too bad. What's the tops looking like? Oh yeah, I like that. That's a bit better. Come down a bit more. Okay, I kind of like that. That's a bit of a spiking channel. Fits in nice there. Quite nice there. Quite nice there. Nice there. Tops aren't too bad, so I think that's probably as good as anything. So, can it push up as high as that now out of the top of this channel? I don't know. Mind you, who knows? I'd like it to come back a little bit first. Like this. We've pushed up, we've come back a little bit. Back here. So, I'd like it to come back first to make another leg. Hi, how are you today, Philip? How am I today? I'm great, Philip. The closer I get to Christmas, the greater I'm becoming. Because all the wrapping and all the buying and all the money is slowly coming to an end. Or you're not asking me. I don't know. Rhodian. Good morning or evening. Nice channel you've got there. Well, thank you very much. Is it Rhodian or Rodian? Rhodian. I think that's Rhodian, isn't it? Where are you from? And Julian. Morning, Julian. I think you're a new face as well. Where are you both from? I always like to know where people are from. But welcome anyway. I think it's just going to be a slow grind to the top, yeah, which is why I drew this channel a bit longer, because it will, if it does keep going up, then it will obviously tick this, if it's going to make a second leg up. But for me it is. I just like to come back here a bit first. Are you from Australia, are you, brother? But you spend your holidays there. Okay, so are you a cricket fan? Because I'm a big cricket fan. I know the Australians are passionate about the cricket. Let's have a look. Ulan, yeah, you're Tampa, Florida. Yeah, I've seen you before, Ulan. We've talked before. I'm from Australia. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna have a bit of fun with you. Flip, you're from the Czech Republic. Excellent. Julian, you're from Chicago. Fantastic. Yeah, plenty of our friends from over the pond. No, but fond of the Socceroos. Socceroos. Football, you mean, yeah? Yeah. Okay, that's a shame, because I like to widen the Aussies up when it comes to the cricket. So, but it's nice to have you join us anyway. So I'm guessing it is, what are you, 9 hours ahead, something like that? Maybe a bit more, 11 hours ahead, something like that. But you're in, like I say, you're in the US at the moment, so you're behind us. So, yeah, Ulan, we've talked to you before. Tampa, Florida. Sounds nice and warm. Yeah, Chicago. So I'm assuming that's a bit cooler now, Chicago, is it? Fond of Socceroos. Excellent. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, there's no real setup there. I suppose you could say that was 2 legs down. So that's, I don't think it's a bad setup. I just didn't like it because of this. You know, I've got this feeling again. We're not going to get a setup. I was hoping it was going to come down here a little bit first because we're getting this big area here, aren't we? So just for now, I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to just put the overnight highs in, which is, I'll put it to the top. That's the overnight highs. Excuse me. And the open as well. I don't think we're going to get down here, but just in case we do, in fact, I'll be so shocked if we do come down there. Okay, so that's the overnight highs. Get lost. Overnight lows. Okay. Yeah, I'd say there's a fair chance we're going to make another leg up here. It's just unfortunate there's no bloody setups in there. Normally US is open at 1:30 a.m. For me, it's Australia. Yeah, I know we got we got Emily here. Emily's from New Zealand, so she's up nice and early. Adam. Seen you before, I think we might have done. Recognise your little thingy there. Adam, pretty sure you've come here before. Okay. Right, so that's the open. And these are the overnight highs. So that seems to be looking quite nice there, doesn't it? Julian, today we tend to go somewhere around about the 2.5 to about 5. I think it was about 5 hours we were here for yesterday. I suppose it tends to average around the 3 to 4 hours. I suppose it depends. I mean, if I get a nice start to the day, then usually maybe 2.5 hours. But I like to sort of get a green day if we can. Yesterday was quite a long day. There wasn't a great deal of setups. We had this sort of slow upward bias, but we didn't have a lot of setup, so that's why, hence, it turned into a 5-hour trading session. But ideally, somewhere around about the 3 hours-ish, something like that. Trade anything else? I don't. I have tried swing trading, a little bit of cryptos occasionally. But all I tend to do is just wait till they dip, and then buy some, and then when we get a little climb, I try and make about 10% a month on cryptos if I can. If we have a couple of really strong red days on cryptos, I might buy a couple of cryptos. Not a lot of money, we're just talking a few hundred quid or something, and then just for the fun of it, really. Okay, I wasn't expecting. I was expecting a second leg, but I was expecting it to be a little bit further up here. That's quite strong buying pressure, that is. Right, give me one of those days. What you say I'll be the next pullback, I know, and it doesn't happen, does it? Yeah, it's definitely been tough the last few days, isn't it? But that's when it tests your patience, doesn't it? So it has had a real good strong push. I mean, when I thought it may struggle when it came out of here and didn't really do nothing. I thought we may then turn into a bit of a range day, but that's quite strong buying, that, isn't it? I mean, that's just shut up. What is it? That's gone up 30 points. That's quite a lot of buying pressure. That is. It does look like it's a bit overbought there, doesn't it? So I'd expect it to come down somewhere here. That's on the 10,000 tick. I was expecting it on the daily because we've had such strong. I mean, we've got this sort of, I think it was about March or something, beginning of the year, trend down. And usually when we hit the top, we'll come down and we'll have a pullback, which we did sort of here and here. But there, we had such a strong sell-off that I was expecting a bit of a pullback before we maybe slowly teetered down. So I just use these to just give me an idea, a little bit more of an idea where things are likely to go. If you look at the whole day yesterday, it was an ascending triangle. We broke out overnight, retested breakout twice. Yeah. Otherwise known as an uptrend, Brad. Yeah, I know what you mean. It had an upward bias, but it wasn't clear, was it? We flattened out on the top, but yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah, it was this, wasn't it? And usually when you do this, if you come in, usually when you do this, you pop out the top, which is what we've done. So I did have an inkling. Well, I mean, my information come from the daily, really, that we may have an uptrend today. But that's quite a lot of buying, that is. Trouble is, when it's like this, you can only really go long, can't you? So while it's up there, you either want it here. The trouble is, even if it comes down to there, I don't think I can go long there. I want it to sort of at least come down to the middle or sort of bottom section of this channel. So we could be sat here for a while waiting for something. But if it does pull back here, I'm a bit, I'll be a bit nervous about going along with this EMA so close to the top of the channel. But sometimes it'll come back and then I'll just rock it off again. But I think for the most, I want it to come back to here, or also, as we've had this overshoot, we could come back at the bottom a bit, and that end up may turn into a larger trend channel. So it's just sit and be patient at the moment, isn't it, really? Exactly how an ascending trend. Yeah, I know. I looked at all that sort of stuff when I was doing a currency, but yeah, ascending and flat on the top, you think then it's going to push out, don't you? I don't tend to look at chart patterns as much. I used to when I used to trade currency, but because we only take these small movements. I mean, you know, patterns like that will tell you what it's likely to do when it gets to the end of it, which is push up what it did. But obviously a lot of these, because I know the Panda guy will draw little sort of angled channels here, won't they? I tend to not do that because it's such a small movements we're taking. I don't think you really need to. These trends are so hard to trade. Yeah, they are when... See, when it come back here, there was a bar there, wasn't it? But it was an inside bar. That red candle had ticked a bit higher and it was a couple of ticks lower. So as the rules go, you got to be careful taking them. And then we just didn't, we went straight up through. We didn't have a pullback to here. But the trouble is, because it's such a big candle, in a lot of cases, you get two legs down. I tend to like the bodies closer to the EMA, more like that. I would have taken that one if it wasn't for a bit of sideways here, but you know what they say, sometimes the trend will just get you out of it. So yeah, it's stumbling a bit, but I think we may hit this or close to it, and then may get quite a strong push down. I suppose it depends how how strong the buying is, but once that's run out, I think it's likely coming, but I'd be wary about taking a short. Me personally, I only try to take longs in an uptrend. Obviously depends on how wide the trend is. This clearly to me is just a normal uptrend. And I want it to come back a bit, but so look, there we go. Let's just get that right. There we go. There's our measured move. Look at that to the nearest tick. And what's going to happen? Is it going to rocket above it? Sometimes when you think it's run out of steam, off it goes again. But I'll be surprised if we don't come back a little bit. Still going. In fact, actually, we could say that that is the measured move. Because that is sort of the top of the push before we come down, isn't it? And here, well, I don't know, would you call it that, I suppose? That looks better, I suppose. Just click buy anywhere, I guess. I tell you what, buddy, there's been a time where I'd have just done that. As it starts to go off here, I'd have just been buying. Yeah, so that's probably where the measured mode is usually the highest point, isn't it, before it? But that's a reverse, so it doesn't really matter, does it? So, seems like it's doing all the buying at once without pulling back here. Guaranteed as soon as you put a short here, ticks you, rockets back up again. I do expect it to come down a bit, but I wouldn't put a trade on it. Market buy. So it'll pull back the rest of us. You think I've got that many? You think I've got that many contracts on it's going to make a difference? I wonder how many contracts you would have to trade before you can actually manipulate the movements. I know sometimes when you get some of the whales, buying and selling Bitcoin, that does move markets. But I know what I was going to ask actually. I know the micros, I know the minis. Is there anything above minis? Or is that it? Because it's like lots, isn't it? You have lots, and then you have like smaller versions. It's been a while since I've done anything, any sort of currency. But do you have anything above minis or not? So now we've got the micros and minis, but I mean, you can trade hundreds and minis if you want, but I didn't know whether there was one like that, maybe £500 a point, you know what I mean? Still going strong, look. See if that does come back now. Sam, are you using fib levels for your pullbacks? Fib levels, Fibonacci retracement types, is that what you mean? I don't use that. I don't think you need them on here. I use the retracements when I was trading on currency, but I don't here. I have seen Marlon use some. Sometimes he uses it, but I don't really, because I only really ever take sort of 3.5 points, possibly a little bit more. So no, I don't tend to make my decisions on them. I don't know how much they play a part with scalping. I don't know. It's going back to the EMA. It isn't. That is a real strong push-up, that is. I think there's a lot of... There's also full contracts. Yeah, you would think so, wouldn't you? So $5 per point micro, $50 per point mini. Perhaps there is a full. No, I checked. Couldn't find anything bigger than that. Perhaps it is just a mini. That's a fair old push up, that is, isn't it? 38 points. Is that a what is that, mate? What is that? Marhead? These days are almost... I'm not sure what that is, mate. Bear me a second. Let me just put my mic on mute a second. I've just had a knock on the door. Okay, sorry. Okay. Just fade in the breakout with a short count, does it, when counter trend trading. Go trade the SPX unleveraged. I did try some leverage trading on some currency, and I got wiped out pretty quick. I kind of like trading currency because if you buy it and the price goes down, you just got to hold on to it. But I'm not trading anything else really. I've traded currency in this. I haven't done any, excuse me, anything else, any options or anything like that. I tend to try and just stick to the one thing. The one strategy, one chart, because I think the more time you spend doing that one thing, you get better and better at it. It's sort of like a jack of all trades, master of none, really, isn't it? I tend to. Okay, so would you go short with a lower high if that ends up bearish? Trouble is, yeah, we've had two strong pushes. We had a push above what we would call a measured legs, but just risky, isn't it? Sometimes you'll get a little pullback like that and it'll just keep on going, and by the end of the day it's gone up another 30 points. Yeah. I mean, you could say you've sort of broken out the top, couldn't you? Most breakouts fail, but going short in I've got no problem going long back into the channel, but I think it's fair to say we've got to come back at least. But trouble is, how far do you come back? Might go and bounce off this line or at the EMA and off we rock again. For a short, I would wait for it. Yeah, I think it's risky taking shorts. I know you think with all this buying pressure, it's got to come back at some point, and it has a little bit. There's two legs down, but it could quite easily. Many times I've thought it's come back and it shoots off some more and it just keeps on going. It's really hard to judge. It's certainly risky going short here. This is a longer tire uptrend channel. Yeah. I was going to draw that. See if we get up there. So you could say that's a break of that. Let's have a look. I would just say that's from there, possibly. Trouble is, once you get so many of these channels in it starts to get a bit... Let's remove this. It's a bit clearer, isn't it? Okay, so you could say it's from there. Let's have a look. I'll probably work through. Good luck. Okay, so this could be a second entry long. Do you really want to go long there? Target is 3,900. Hit that, haven't we? Yeah. 3,900. Oh, down here. Yeah. Risky going long there and short, I think. Yeah, it just looks a bit messy, that, doesn't it? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it ticked above there and came down. Let's see if we can get a higher low or a lower high. Yeah. Probably going to go up, but you just don't know, do you? Might come down a bit more first. Might come back into this channel. Guaranteed when we do nothing off, it rocks, look. Let's have an overall again. Okay. We may get clapped. Okay, let's have that. Okay, so we've made a new high. We've tried to go once, tried to go twice. Let's see if anybody's going to short that. Okay, so that's triggered if anyone's going to go short. So if you're going to go long, do you want to go here or do you want to go above here? Let's see what happens. Let's get an order ready. Okay. Just wondering, is there going to be shorts trap there? There may be. That's a failed second entry. Failed second entry long, which is triggered. Just wondering whether to go above here. See how this bar finishes. Kind of hoping it finishes bearish, actually, because then I'm not a fan of it. Yeah, okay. Kind of glad that's done that. Let's just get rid of it a minute. It's, I think it's struggling at the moment, isn't it? Respect that downtrend channel. I would respect the downtrend channel. Just never know, do you see? Back into it a bit. Yeah, look. Trouble is, going short is risky there because it's above the EMA. Obviously, there's no setup to go long yet. It's just a bit unclear, isn't it? It does look like it's coming down, but see if it breaks below there, it ends up really strong and bullish. But I think any trade here is risky. You got an overshoot. Here. I have an overshoot there. So, yeah, it could be an overshoot and then up. Certainly a lot of buying there, isn't there? But it may come back into this channel. It's hard to say, really. I think any trade at the moment is risky because it seems to be going a bit sideways. Another pullback from the uptrend. It's going a little bit sideways. I think it's likely going to do that a little bit. EMA has gone flat, so there's uncertainty as to whether we're going higher or whether we're coming back into this channel. Whether the buyers or the sellers will come out on top, we'll soon find out. But yeah, anywhere here is risky at the moment. Need a quick new low and a push up for a new high. Yeah, in fact, I'm just going to bring this out of the way a bit because it's confusing matters, isn't it? I don't think it's coming here because it is holding, isn't it? So I think it's trying to get a new high. Let's have a look. Is this it? Do you think? I think it might be. Yeah, I think that's a good trade. I think there may be some shorts in there. If we can push above here, that's good for me, I think. And we may get, let's see, take that up there a bit. Okay, you could call that, well, look, it's hit 3 times, isn't it? So I'm going to follow it up a bit, I think. We might get a strong push up, but I'm going to, once we get to these tops, I'm going to get my stop close. We may get another pullback, which I'm all right with. But I'm hoping we'll get a nice strong push up out. My only slight concern is we go a little bit sideways, but I think where I've gone, I think we're okay. We may get a bit of a pullback, but I'm quite happy there. In fact, I'm going to take that down just one more tick. But I think we're okay. Let's, where's my 3.5 points? Okay, so the top of there would be okay, so anything else is a bonus. If we can get above this, that's where I'm going to look to get out of the trade, I think. But I hope we can get a push above here. Sometimes, see, when it'll do this, I'll get to lose a bit of confidence and come out, and it ends up pushing up. So for me, that's a good solid bar. That is exactly where I like taking them. Hugging the top, finished on its high. We've had a clear break of this. I'm clearly looking to get high, so I'm confident on this trade. Well, I am aware we've had this good strong push up, but I think there's room yet. Okay, so broke above there, so that's good. So I'm hoping if we can get above this, we'll get a little bit more. So I'm just going to get ready with my stop and follow it up. pushing up quite as hard as I was expecting. If we can get above that other bar, if we can get above that one, then it's taking a bit of time getting up there, but that's okay, I think. Okay. That'll do, mate. I got me 3.5 points. That's what I wanted. Because we've had such strong buying pressure, I'm not convinced it's going to go a lot higher. Quite possibly will, but I'd rather get out for me 3.5 points, which is what I like. So that's a good start to the day. So let's put that there. That's plus 3.5 points. Excellent. Yeah, I'm just not confident just to sit and hold on because we've had this break and anyway, it's probably going to go. Sometimes I just like to get my money and get out. The way I see it, if I can do on average 2 winning trades a day, and I've got a little bit more than three. What do I have? 3 3/4 points. So that's even better. If I can get 2 of them and see my target, if I can, is about $500 a day. If I can do that on 2 contracts, as far as I'm concerned, that's excellent. So a couple of trades on average a day, but that's all right. I'm happy with that. Lead and lose. He got stopped out. Where did you go? You didn't take this one, did you? You didn't take the failure. Risky, see the failure. I bet there was a few in there. I bet there was a couple over here as well. The way it was just struggling. And still in the runner. Hopefully it goes all the way to 39. 16. It may do, actually. Thanks, UK. You're welcome. Thanks all. Oh, you're off, are you? Take it easy, pal. Have a nice evening, RGE. Brand, he got stopped out going short. Who did? Oh, he didn't, did he? He didn't fall for that one, did he? Yeah. I did say there was probably going to be some shorts there. Not as many as I was expecting, because usually when you get some shorts and a failure there, but that for me was the one. Starting to go. I always love the way they finish like that. Nice and tight, finishing out high for me. They sort of win all day. And we've had this breakout, haven't we? Tiny bit of sideways, but nothing major. Too strong of an uptrend to short. Yeah. So where did I come out? There. So it's gone up about another, 2.5 points. Yes, sometimes I've got no problem with letting it, with getting out. But I knew the highs were here and we had such a strong push up. Sometimes it's nice to get out with your money. Happy days. Because sometimes you'll get this and they'll quickly come down and you'll start panicking and so sometimes it's nice to get out and then if it's going to go a bit more, let it get on with it. Let someone else make some money. But, I did think we were going to get a bit of an uptrend today, but I didn't quite think it was going to be as steep as that. And I think what will probably turn out like, it'll end up being possibly something like that. Let's have a look. Yeah, probably end up being something like that. Touched here. If it eventually comes down, something like that. Shame you ain't got a back button on here. Where did I come from now? Was it here? think that was it, wasn't it? So I'm going to leave it like that a minute, I think. Yeah, it's definitely it's slowing down there, isn't it? Okay. See, they're similar there, actually. The only difference there is it was going a little bit sideways for a bit longer. I wasn't convinced it may come here and move up. See the difference between that one and that one, can't you? I just love taking them there. I do when that's like that. That, for me, is an indicator of when a trade is likely to move, when it sits, the bottom of the body sits nice and tight. I mean, if you look back on some of your trades, some of the good trades, they all seem to end in that, or start in that, sorry. And it was like a triple test, really, wasn't it? Yeah, look at that, triple test. Touched 3 times perfectly, didn't it? Followed by a nice big bearish bar right in these bodies. That was the way up, wasn't it? Trade of the day, only trade of the day. Israel. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice to get up on the board, isn't it? We've been trading an hour and a half. That's nice, isn't it? If we get nothing else now for the day, I'm happy. Let me just put my mic on pause a second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, Emily. We are allowed to scalp on Apex. We are allowed to scalp on Apex. Yeah, we are. Yeah, I have asked and was told that no limit on how long a trade can last. No, that it can last an hour all day if you want. It's up to you. Did you say, Lance, that a trader was penalised for this? Now, all they're after doing, I did mention something that a trader left a trade in the market and didn't close it down. So The market closes for 1 hour a day for maintenance. Obviously, it depends where you are, what time it is, and all trades are supposed to be closed by the time, because you can't leave a trade in. And a trader left a trade open, and the market closed, and he ended up losing his account. So what Apex did, they programmed into I think it was into the software somehow, that it auto liquidates a trade should you accidentally leave one in. So at least it stops you making that mistake. Sorry. If it was something else you were thinking about, all they're trying to do is stop people hitting home runs. Yeah, because some people might buy down here with a full 10 contracts, ride it all the way up there, make a ton of money, and then do 1 micro a day for the next week. So all they're after doing is people not manipulating the system. But if you're just doing general trades, whether you're in and out in 10 seconds or whether you're in and out in 4 or 5 hours, it doesn't matter. It's up to you. As long as you're following some sort of a strategy, you're not randomly clicking here or there. But if you're a genuine trader and you're genuinely learning and doing well, then you've got no problems whatsoever. Okay, scalp always the same. Break even at 4 ticks. Yeah, you're okay doing that. But I think it was Brant mentioned that something about this 20% your trades can't be more than a tick or 2 ticks, something like that. And if it is, they just extend maybe for a couple of days before you can withdraw. But there's no issues with losing your account or losing your money, because we all get out of a trade from time to time without much of a profit. I've gone out of a trade with it. I think I did one a few days ago. Gone out of a trade with a couple of ticks. I just lost my nerve a bit, but they're just after people not manipulating the system, so I won't worry about it. Yeah, I think you're good. Accountability King, I got stopped out on a buy 4 points 1 contract. Okay, so you got your 4 points. Excellent. Good on you. 4 points is good. Considering when I started doing this 2 years ago, we were scalping a point. I still can't believe we were doing that. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I scalp 4 ticks and then trail every 2. I made $100 per day for the last 283 days. $100 a day. If you've done that, you've done really well. You prove your consistency. Now, you might think $100 is not a lot, but if you can trade, then it's just a simple matter of scaling up. I made $100 a day for the last 283 days traded. Fantastic. Fantastic. That is proper consistency. And the biggest losses was 172. Really want to trade alongside me. Well, you're welcome to fly over to the UK if you want. That's nice of you to say. But I'm just like you, Emily. I've only been doing it a couple of years. So, is it Max system that you joined? Did you do Max price action? Did you join him for a year? So that'd only be if she had home run trades. Then the rest of her trades seem like, yeah. You've got no issues as long as you're genuine. I mean, they're not stupid. They know the difference between someone who's just genuinely trading and learning and trying to trade and someone who's trying to hit home runs. I believe something happened about 6 months ago, and I think they worked out that there was 2 traders. Both had a $300 account which they've passed. Sorry, $300,000 account which they passed, and on the evaluation, apparently one went long, one went short. Max contracts into the news, so obviously chances are one of them hit a home run. I believe they hit $30,000, and I think for the rest of the 25 days, because at the time that's how long you had to trade for a payout, they did a micro a day, which is I'm really surprised they had the gall to do it, to be fair, because it's that obvious. So they're just after people trying to cheat the system. There'll always be people trying to manipulate the system. It's just part of life. And I think that's what happened. So they're just making it obvious, just in case you decide to want to go out there and try and fight the system. But we're all just like each other. We're in it for the long haul. We just want to get a better life for our friends and our family. I got a wife and a daughter, and I want to have nicer holidays. I want to have a nicer house, a nicer car, peace of mind. That's what I'm doing it for. And one of the biggest things as well, so I don't have to work for anybody else. I've always hated working for other people. Sometimes you'll get a good company, but I've worked for companies in the past that they don't give a crap about you. Is your favourite trade setup upward trend? You may touch a bullish hammer with the body. My favourite trend setup, an upward trend. Yeah, I've mentioned this before a few times. That's how I like a candle to look. Preferably with a stem. So there was a trade I did a few days ago that I went short, and it came down, and I took another low here, and it looked the opposite of that. And on Marco's chart, instead of that, because that's a bullish candle, but it's got a stem. On his, it was a full candle, so it was a full green candle, which for some reason can look a little bit sketchy. And the fact that that's been sold right down to the new low and pushed right the way up close on its high, and the way the bottom of the body, the lower part of the body, is sitting nice and tightly, that's where I like to take my trade. So basically second entries. Now that's not really a second entry, first entry take, so it's, but it's two legs down and a little bit of sidewards followed by that, but it's a triple test. So we're in an uptrend at the moment, and it's hit 3 times, isn't it? And then it pushed right above the EMA, nice. And you've got to admit, that's as nice as a candle looks. So yeah, that's what I like doing. So whether it's failures, you could call that a failure actually, because we've come down, we try to go low once, try to go low twice, it's failed, so that's a failure as well. So it's a triple test and a failure in a bullish uptrend. So for me, that's near on a perfect trade, I'd say. And they work, some people say 98% of the time. But I've got to say, whenever I've seen a trade like that, they just do not fail. Everyone wants to make money, but only if you want to work for it. Yeah. Some people think it's trading's easy, isn't it? But when you've had a taste of it, you've got no choice but to put money in. So there is a potential trade here. This could be a second entry long. Those make me nervous. Those 3 back to back. Hey Kim, how you doing, buddy? Failed second entries, lower highs, high after a clear correction. Yeah, they're the main trades we do. Second entries, failures, and higher lows or lower highs. Let's have a look at this. Kind of hoping this finishes crap. I don't like the fact that we got 3 sitting side by side there. Because if this does finish bullish, it's quite likely going to sit by the side of them 3, so that makes me a bit nervous. Kind of hoping it finishes it bad. Sorry, I'm kind of hoping it finishes bad. Yeah, that's close to a doji, isn't it, that? Yeah, so this is that pullback I was expecting. This is the daily. It's probably going to be most of this day, actually, and then we may turn back down again. So, same happened here, didn't it? We had a good push down, pull back, and then down again. Last time it finished above here, same thing, push down, pull back, push down. It's just this time round, we had a stronger push down here. That was quite a push down, so I thought it's quite oversold, that, isn't it? And it's losing momentum, so I thought we've got to have a bit of a A bit of a pullback, and obviously on a pullback on a daily is a day's worth of uptrend on a 2,000 tick chart. So don't take that, not the trend line yet. It's going to come back here a bit, isn't it? So that's one leg down, two legs down. Even if you get a bullish candle here, it's risky. May come back towards this side of the channel, you just don't know. So look at it. Yeah, and that's quite a nice steady uptrend. That it's a little bit smoother than it was yesterday. It was just, it went up a bit, it went lashing backwards and forwards, wasn't it? And then up a bit more. That's clearly an uptrend. But yesterday's, it was just bobbing and weaving all over the place. So we may get another trade here if we're lucky. We've pushed below the EMA. That's two legs down. I'm looking for a push up and a higher low. But it is possible we all could also come back here. So let's see what happens. See, for some reason, I haven't got the middle on this. Midline, that's why. Happy days. Okay, midline. Because if you look, see what it's doing when it comes to the midline. Here. It's doing stuff around the midline, isn't it? So it's bounced off there. 10 to 20. Wouldn't it be nice? Quite a nice big push up that is, but as tempting as that is, I'd like to get a push up and come back and get a higher low. Oh. Yeah, it does seem to be holding on this midline. See what happens here. Just close my short from 3916. You took up here, did you? You went here. Yeah. Trouble is, mate, what that can do is push down a little bit, end up having a bullish candle and push up. See, it's risky, that is. Shorting into in an uptrend. That's not to say it's not going to work. I was hoping we were going to get a push up there, but see where it comes to. See if this plays a part, because there is a little bit of support around here, isn't there? So it may come down to here and then rocket off. He was open for a point. Yeah. I suppose if you're taking smaller points, you can trade wherever you go, really, can't you? See if this bit of support here holds it. Did I take the failure? Which, this one? This major move down. Yeah, we had to come down at some point. Excuse me. Too close to the end of the move. Yeah. Second entry short. Yeah, I didn't take that. I tend to try not counter trend trade. I'm not saying it doesn't work. Trouble is, if you'd have taken that failure, you could have just ticked a couple of belows, pushed straight up within the EMA. So at the moment, we're in an overall uptrend. See, so most of your trades want to be long, but obviously at some point it can come down. But the trouble is when it's coming down, you never know where it's going to turn back and push up again. I am still expecting it to come up. Sure, where this bear trap. But looking to go short 39.08. 08 around here. Yeah. See, we've had this overshoot, haven't we? So usually that is pretty much the end of a trend, isn't it? Before we get some. I'm expecting it to go here a bit, but I thought this may play a part, but I think we're going to push back up again. Might not be now, but I think it might be around here. Failed second entry long. Oh, here, this one. That was a failed second entry long, yeah. Sorry. Second entry short, yeah. I see what you mean, yeah. Okay, let's see what happens here. I couldn't post my chart on Facebook anymore. Why would you be blocked? Well, you wouldn't block you. I can't see Marco blocking you. He wouldn't block you. I didn't put mine on last night, actually. I don't know why. I usually do. It's just because we finished late last night. What I usually do is mark my chart up. I usually take a break, come back and mark my chart and post it, but I didn't last night. Don't know why. You always have the same stop on your trades. Well, what I do, obviously the stop is going to vary. See, that in our trade would be called a signal bar. So your stop always goes one tick below the signal bar. So this was you could call this a triple test or a failed second entry short. So your order will go above there, and obviously if it triggered, you'd hope it was going up, and your stop is here. So your stop is always going to vary based on the size of your candle. So that candle there is 3.25 points. So your stop will be here. That's 3.5 points. Your trigger, your order will be here. That's 3.75 points. So your risk is 3.75 points in there. So obviously a smaller bar if you were going there. But I have my automated strategy set at 14 ticks, which is 3.5 points, and that 3.5 points plus 3.5 points plus an extra tick to cover my commissions. But I just use that just as a rough idea, and then obviously I'll adjust it accordingly. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, correct. Yeah, so your stop will go there regardless of the size of the bar, but obviously the bigger the bar, you may want to come in on a limit order down here and try and give yourself less risk. But yeah, so I have mine set at 14 ticks because I find usually then I drag it up a little bit towards. I want it, it's just a rough guesstimate, really, to be honest with you. Okay, so I'm looking for a long trade somewhere up here. So we've had push up. See if we can get a lower high. Kind of like the way we've pulled back to the EMA and pushed up again on the 10,000 tick chart. I kind of like that. We've had this pull back, so we'll see. Yeah, exactly, according to Pat. If you haven't joined his, I think you have, haven't you? But if you haven't, I think it's about $120 for a year. But it's really good value. There's loads of videos on there of him explaining everything, and there's bits of content, bits of things that you can add like these and all this stuff along the top, these little drawing charts, and there's I think this tick counter. There's all sorts of bits of stuff you can download and use off his site, and obviously you can email him as well. So if you're not on it, I would definitely advise you to. Okay, so we've had this. We've had a break and a new low. Stroke overshoot. We've had a push up strongly above the EMA. I'm waiting for a higher low to then have another push up, and we go from here. Depending on where it comes back, this is where I'm expecting. Strangely enough, right at the top, this is where I'm expecting. If we do have another leg up, first leg up, see where this comes back to, and then a second leg up would take us to the tops here. But I don't think it's going to come down enough. I don't think it might just push straight up again. The premium lessons on Mac's site are worth the annual fee alone. Oh, absolutely. It's $120. Well, what I did is I bought the manual, and the manual was $100. And if you buy the manual, he sends you a discount code for $20 off the yearly subscription, which is then $100. So, but I mean, for a trading course for $120 for a year is peanuts. It's so cheap. You won't find one that cheap. Not that, this is good and it's solid. He's been trading this for over 25 years. And you just follow the correct setups and look what it produces. Solid trades and high probability trades. Yeah, I did a 6-month course with Andrew Lockwood, who's a British currency trader, and that was about 350 quid just for 6 months. So it's great value, it really is. And just by the fact that he puts his, Monday to Thursday, he puts his YouTube video out, and he's been doing that for 12, 13 years. So he's certainly a committed guy. Okay, so we've had a push up and we've had a bit of a pullback, which is broken below here. So I'm expecting another push up, but at the moment, I'd rather it come a bit closer to here, which it is, I'd rather it push below it a little bit. But I kind of hope it doesn't finish bullish because, okay, I like that. That's better. Yeah, okay, so we've had this trend, small break, new low, or overshoot and new low, so that's fine. Pushed up to the EMA, pushed up through the EMA. I like the way, see it's sitting right on that midline there. You see, you forget about all these little details, like, but the fact that it just didn't pull back here is making me leave that trade alone, and I'm pretty sure it's going to push up and give us another leg. But the fact that it hasn't pushed down just makes it a little extra risky. Nothing worse than breaking the rules and losing a trade. It just fries your brain, it does. Although you're pretty sure what it's going to do, you've still got that little voice in the back of your head saying, I'm supposed to leave this alone. Okay, I kind of like that. Now let's see if we get a push up. Okay, so that's first entry. Just wondering, I hope that tick triggers below and then pushes up, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be some short trades in there. It may come straight down, but if it triggers above here, I think, let's have a look. It may come down, but let's have a look. If it triggers above here, I'm going to take it to go long. Having said that, if I look on the 10,000 tick chart, we've had a leg down and a pullback. We may get another leg down, so we may come down to here, which is probably somewhere around here. So we may have another leg down. So I'm aware of that as well. Yeah, I think we may. Trend still needs a new low. Well, this is an overshoot, isn't it? An overshoot and a new low. So I was aware that counts as well. And I don't think I can sort of draw this anyway where it incorporates everything. Yeah. See, I was aware. Let's have a look. You could say that's an overshoot. No, I don't know. Yes, I would say that is an overshoot. I thought an overshoot would class as a new low because we've come out of the channel, haven't we? But sometimes an overshoot can come out the other side. So but this 10,000 tick chart does show me that could quite have two legs down here before we maybe think about going longer, because we have had some strong buying pressure. Look at that. So I'd say probably due for a bit of a pullback. Let's wait for the failed second entry short. Yeah. So that's just your first entry, really, isn't it? There's nothing else that's your first entry. Yeah, you got to go above the EMA, really, haven't you? Just struggling, I think, isn't it? Okay, that's a positive sign. Oh, what to do? I was tempted to go low, but I think it's risky to go long on it. It could, I mean, it's triggered above it, isn't it? It could come down. I think it'll go up, but I think that's slightly too risky. That's just the higher low. I prefer a failure, I think, because there may be some shorts here. So if we can get a little bit higher, and then I think then maybe we could get up. But look at that. It's just struggling, isn't it? And it's looking like it's going to go a little bit sideways. So It's hard to say, that is. I think it's a little risky. But sometimes the trend can help you out of trouble. I mean, we could have a couple of legs down. Based on what the 10,000 tick chart's telling me, we're going to be coming down a bit. So I think if you are in that, unfortunately, I think it looks like you may get stopped out. The trend might pull you out of it, but I think it's going to tick lower. Because I think shorts he's trying to push it down there, because if it does break there, it's probably going to get them down a little bit lower. I've been caught out so many times going there thinking, oh yeah, great bar above the EMA. I just leave them now. As tempting as they can look sometimes. I think when it pushes below here, it's going to have a quick little shoot, which will tell you whether there is any longs in that trade. It has broken below. So if you did go long there on the high low, you just got stopped out, unfortunately. Yeah, there is a few stops there. Okay, so there's your two legs down. See if it does come down lower here. I'm going to have to look up on that, Brant, because I was under the impression that if we have an overshoot, it's lower anyway, but I can't remember back to when I looked at max and overshoot. So you might be right, mate. I might be wrong, but certainly made a new low, isn't it? So let's see if this this support area, because I'm still thinking long at the moment. Well, let's see if this plays a part. I can't see how I can adjust that to make it not have the overshoot. To the lower high. Here, you went short there, did you? Oh, good on you. Yeah, it's just... see, I'm thinking bullish and just those three side by side. Yeah, I'm going to have to look into that. Overshoot can lead to a reversal, but not guaranteed. Reversal is more likely, and I felt like an entry short counter from the lows. See what happens here. Yeah, I can't remember, mate. Can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. That's a second entry short on yours. It could be. Bear me a second. Let me just put my mic on mute. Okay, so wife and daughter coming in and out. Okay, so I'm looking on the 10,000 tick chart. We've had two pushes down in this uptrend. So let's see what happens now. I'm still thinking long at the moment. By the way, I've always scalped 4 ticks, but from this week I've increased to 8 ticks and added a runner I trade 5 contracts. Anyone else going for 8 ticks? So 8 ticks, 2 points. I think that is probably, there's more people going for 2 ticks now. 2 points now than a point. But what I suggest you do is exactly what I did. Look back over all your charts, or look at someone else's charts and look at the decent setups and then work out. So I went back over Daniel's. He's not as active in the Facebook group, but about maybe 10, 12 months ago, a little bit less, I went back over Daniel's charts for 2 weeks. And I looked at every decent setup like that, and I worked out, did it make 2 points? And every single one of them, and I believe it was 34 or 36 trades he'd taken over 2 weeks, every single one of them made at least 2 points. Every one of them. So as soon as I saw that, and you could clearly see there were proper setups, and he's a decent trader, it was a no-brainer for me. It was an easy decision. Because if you're going from 1 point to 2 points, effectively you're doubling your profit. So you only need to get them right every other trade. So if all 36 or 34 trades made 2 points, it's an absolute no-brainer. Jacko, yeah, 1-to-1 risk reward. Yeah, I tend to do that now. I tend to like 3.5 points, I do. Because that to me is what the average risk is. Michael, I go for however many ticks and signal bars. Signal bar is, yeah, so that's 1-to-1, isn't it? Yeah, unless it's less than six, and I go for, yeah, so that's basically your risk to reward, isn't it? So if this is like a 3 points, then you'll go for 3. So you're going for 1-to-1, yeah. I think 1-to-1, I mean, I'm not saying do it. For me, it's a no-brainer. But see, look, we've got this new high, haven't we? Try to go once, try to go twice. We'll jig a short there. There's a possible short there. But for me, we're in an uptrend, so I can't be taking shorts, really. I learned from yeah, I think he got me thinking about going for 2 points. And then that's when I look back on Daniel's chart, and for me, it was an easy decision. I think, yeah, he does between 8 ticks and 10, 8 and 10 ticks, doesn't he? So that for me is a lovely looking signal bar. Trouble is, we're coming into these lows. Ordinarily, I'd snap that up because that is a perfect failure. But for me, the context isn't right. That's a perfect failure, that is for me. But look at this, see? And you've got the bottom of the trend channel here, so that's risky, that is. But that is just how I love them. Yeah, that's something about the symmetry of the target being the same as the signal. Yeah, yeah. I think if you're doing 1-to-1, you personally, I think it's the way to go. It's a shame, that is. I'm not saying it's not going to come lower, but yeah, look at that. That's a beautiful signal bar, that is. Beautiful. If we were in a downtrend, I'd snap that up all day long. Perfect failure. Yeah, we already have a new low. Yeah. I love them like that. I get so excited when I see them like that. So we've had this new high. Try to go once. Try to go twice. Beautiful bearish bar. Engulfs that one. Nice and tightly under there. Beautiful, that is. The only thing stopping me going along there is the fact that you've got this support down here in the bottom of the channel, which quite lightly going to push up. It might come down a lot more, but they are riskier. How did it go? Let's have a look. Right here, isn't it? So it went for 2 points. So you'd have got 0.75 to the bottom. Nicholas measured move from 39.17. 39. So here and here, yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah, here. I don't think it'll make it. Might do. It could come down here and bash out, but I think this this bit of support is going to play a role. Whether it just means it comes back a bit further before it comes down, but I've just had it drummed into me. Don't take shorts on an uptrend. Having said that, that is quite a distance to travel, so I'm not saying you can't if there's setups there. It's just something I personally don't do. And I never believed in a million years I had standards. Okay, see what happens here. If we get through this line, then it may... I mean, if it popped out the bottom and pushed back in, that'd be nice, because we have gone right to the far side of that. So, you know, if we can get in here somewhere to go along, we might have a nice distance to travel there. Be nice to get another trade. 2 trades I like. If I can get 2 winners, I'm very happy. Let's see, there also might be another one there. Let's have a look. Look at that. Finishes about the same place. I think it's feasible we're going to come here. So this is right at the bottom of the trend channel. I know it looks a bit of an overshoot, but it's not perfect. So see what happens. See if I can adjust that bottom. Where is it? See, really, that I've marked it to yesterday's. That's where it opened, wasn't it? Actually, that's where the market opened, not down here. That was yesterday's. So we're here, we're here, we're here. Tops are finishing nicely. I think that's probably a little bit more accurate. Okay. Daniel, you're a new face, aren't you? Welcome, welcome. Where you from, buddy? Where you from? I'd like to know where people are from. Okay, if I look at the 10,000 tick chart, as I expected, a second leg down. So we've had 2 clear legs down right to the MA. So let's see what happens here. See if we do move back off. I've just had my wife creeped in a minute ago. Can we go Christmas shopping? Buy all the food. That's my relaxing evening gone. Sage Mark, you're from Texas. Sage Mark. Gatwick. Gatwick, are you? Down in London. There's quite a few traders here actually from the UK. There's quite a few of us now. I think there's probably about 6 of us actually in this stream. Not all here today. Gatwick, eh? Yeah. There's quite a few, a lot more than I thought. I mean, 6 months ago, I struggled to find anybody in the UK, and we got a couple. We got Keithy, he's here somewhere. He's from, I think, Aberdeen. What else we got up here? Let's have a look. Who else? Keithy's, whether he's here or not, he's from Aberdeen. There's a buddy of his from Aberdeen as well. Yeah, there's quite a few actually. Me, Shropshire, mate. I live in Shropshire, Shrewsbury in Shropshire. So you'll know where that is, won't you? We're about 50 miles west of Birmingham. So, do you know what? Yeah, I'm from the UK. Grand Sing Music. You're a new face as well. Whereabouts are you from, bud? So there's starting to become more people from the Austin. We're starting to outnumber the Americans finally. You're in Wolves. You're just up the road from me. I'm in Shrewsbury. Yeah, you're about 35 miles up the road, are you? Yeah. Keithy, yeah, guy from Suffolk. Northern accent? You're accusing me of having a northern accent? Well, I get accused of being Welsh every day, I do. Although we live about 30 miles from there. But I suppose I'm northern for you, aren't I? Yeah, Keith is from I think you're from Aberdeen as well as Fife as well. You're both from Aberdeen, aren't you? I think so. There's quite a few actually. It's surprising. Oh, big push off the bottom here. Look, we've hit that measured move perfectly. Big push off the bottom. Look at that. Big push off the bottom. More risky in my opinion, especially 18 ticks. Tick above, tick below 1920. That's 5 point size. You're all southerners. Mm-hmm. Right, let's see what happens here. I don't think there's anything like a trend down there, really. Is there a larger one? I don't think. Well, maybe there is. Something looks a bit messy. Godspeed R. What's that? What's going on? Pray for me, folks. What's up? What's going on? Oh, you in a trade, are you? Are you in this long? Oh, you have. Sorry. Oh, of course you are, aren't you? Why have you got L on there? You're just confusing us now, aren't you? You got that long. I did look at it. It's a big old bar, isn't it? And to be honest, with the way we're coming down at the moment, I'm definitely feeling bullish. But before I actually put my money where my mouth is, I want to get above that EMA. So hopefully we'll get up here. Along off the bottom of the range, yeah. We had that sort of perfect measured move literally to the nearest tick, wasn't it? Yeah. No. Yeah, look at that. Finish right to the nearest tick. That's usually a good sign, I'd say. Because I've been thinking bullish all day long. And it hit to the nearest tick and then rejection. So congestion now. Yeah, it's a little bit of congestion, but an upward bit of congestion. Hopefully, if we can get above here and here as well, because I'd say there's possibly going to be some shorts in there thinking they've captured the top and they're going to come careening down. But if we can get above here, if we can push out of here and get above here, then we're also in a range. Just broke out of it. Here, yeah, it's a small range. It's quite a big old bar, that, isn't it? What is it? 4.5 points. Tick above, tick below, 5 point risk. I think you might be right, mate. Let's see how brave you are. There you go. There we go. That's quite a quick jump, that is. I think you're going to be right, mate. So we've had these two legs down. We finished right at the bottom of the range, which is good. We've had push up. Hopefully we won't come down here. I think what we may do is tick below this and then push up. I don't think the bulls will retake the 39, 20, 25 area. 39, 20, 25. 39, 20, 25 area. Sometimes when you think it can't go any higher, it does, but that does quite a couple of fair pushes down, isn't it? Let's see what happens. Okay, so it's ticked below there. Now I'm hoping it's going to push up. Pull our friend out of it. So you could call that a hidden second entry short. Now, some people call it a bit of a doji, but it's one tick away from being the perfect short bar, and I like where it is. But to me, the bias is upwards. I'm just thinking if there's going to be any shorts in there. There may be. Let's see who wins over the buyers or the sellers. I'm for the buyers, personally. Failed second entry long. Come on, push up. Slowing down, isn't it? Still quite a fair bit of volume today, isn't there, actually? I'm quite surprised, actually, considering where are we now? 5 o'clock. There's more than I thought there may be. So I kind of like the way that red bar's finished right on there. So we've pushed under it. We've hit it a couple of times. We've pushed through it. So I think now, I think this is a better sign now. We're likely to push out. And if we can get above here, then I think then we may slowly move up a bit. We may come cruising down after, but I kind of like the way that it's finished on there. So well, that's blown that idea out of the water. Okay. Okay. I think we had a bull happy time overshoot the original uptrend channel. Time to give it all back. Yeah, I don't think we will, actually. I know sometimes when we have a sharp move, we do tend to recover a lot of it, don't we? I just think the way the volume's stopped there, gone back up, and it's slowing down, I still think a lot of people are going to be thinking, risky going short here. I'm still bullish at the moment. See if it comes curling out there. I don't mind it breaking out, but it does sort of look like we're getting some form of some downwards movement. Looks like structured change to me. Look at where the last trade took place. Maybe the lower up move. Stopped out at 3,900. Oh, see, I'd have got out of that, mate. I think somewhere around here. Quite often that happens. It'll come back, tick a couple of ticks below us, stop you out, and then end up going in the right bloody direction again. Bad luck, mate. See, really, when we do something like that, I'd be wanting, because we're below the EMA and the EMA's facing down, it's risky. I'd want it to push above it and then make a higher low or a lower high before I was confident enough to, you know what I mean? Because at the moment, EMA's facing down. I've been trapped so many times going, long into a downward EMA, so it's just riskier. But I get why you did it. We bounced down here, a little bit of sideways, touched that perfect measured move, big bullish bar. So I get what you know, sucked you into the trade. But it is, yeah, see, we've had that push down, big buy-in, then it sold off, so it's hard to say at the moment. Waiting for a failed second entry short, yeah, that's the only way you can do, isn't it? See what happens here. Oh, don't know what that was. Lower high. For you, Daniel. It took. So it was 2 legs back. Broke out the range. It's holding prices, so sometimes that's a good thing. Other times it just tanks through it. But see that bar there, it did push below there, didn't it? And then pull back up. Five-minute chart showing lower highs and lows. Never used the 5-1. I should have a look at it now and again. What's that, bud? Hour closed down. What's that, mate? What do you mean by that? Hour closed down. Picture looks bearish. Well, I don't know actually. So we've had this strong push up, haven't we? So it stands to reason we're going to have to come back a little bit. So we've had 2 pushes down to the EMA. So it's sitting on the EMA at the moment. So if we get a bit of a push up, yeah, I think it's oh right, I got you. Yeah. If we can get up and out above the EMA, then I think then we got a possibility to get a bit higher. It's hard to say at the moment. I don't want to go long or short in this lot. It's just a little bit choppy. Does look like a lot of selling, I got to say. You went long again. Where'd you go long? Off the bottom here, off that one. Downtrend maybe is playing with us. 10,000 chart is a perfect close below the EMA. You might have a different one than me. Let's have a look. See, at the moment, it's closed above it. So we've had 2 clear pushes down, haven't we? And we're going a little bit sideways. So if we can get up and out of this channel here and above this lot, then we may. Trouble is, how much further we're going to go? We could end up in. Oh, I don't know. Legs back, took the long off the key entry point. Yeah, it is struggling to get up. There's obviously a lot more selling than there are buyers. Don't know, perhaps we could. I think this bar here, I think there'll be some shorts in there, I think. Thinking we've had one push down, another push down. So if it comes down here, then I think it may come down. But if it ticks below it and pushes up above it, then I think then we may move a bit higher. So I think it's it's on this bar really what it's going to do. So we've had these 2 pushes down here, and then we've come back to them. We've had 1 push down, so we could get another one, which is going to take us below here. 1 push down, 2 pushes. Yeah, so we'll see what happens here. But you could call this a breakout or a failed breakout. So if there's some shorts trapped here, if it does break above here, then I think we're going to move up for a while. But after such a lot of selling pressure in a channel, I don't know how long we're going to move up for. So not long, mate. YouTube. This is about. I did my evaluation, which was 7 days, and I think this is day 7. So literally 14 days. I did an evaluation. Yeah, it looks like we're coming down, which took 7 days, and yeah, I think this is day 7. So I think literally 14 days. Okay, let's see what happens here. See, it has come down and touched this, and it's pushed off. It's come down and touched, and it's pushed off. I think this is the deciding area. Yeah, I literally. It's been a couple of weeks. But I've been training for a couple of years. I just decided to stream because I was struggling a bit with the psychological side. And I tend to work better thinking out aloud, so I thought the two might complement me, and so far it's doing all right. This will be our 14th green day in a row, which is good and positive. Let's do this. What's that going to get to? Yeah, so you may not even class this as a failed breakout. It might not be out enough. This might be it. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens here. It might just come careering down. Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. Trading definitely messes with your head, doesn't it? Sort of like marriage, really, isn't it? It will seem to be on the on the border. So that makes me wonder, if you've been married, the longer you've been married, perhaps you got a better chance of being successful as a trader, because you've had years of stress and emotion. Okay, that's come down and it's rejected that, hasn't it? So now I'm thinking this is possibly our better chance to move up. Yeah, if we can get above here and then above here, then I think trouble is I don't know how much further we're going to get up. Wait for the structure to form before going long. Yeah, risky going long here when the EMA is pointing down. See, it's flat across here, but then pointing down, so that tells me that it could just go, could just drop like a stone. 30. How long is it for me? 20 years. It was my anniversary last week. So 20 years. You'd have thought I'd been good at it, but you wouldn't have thought I'd have failed so many so many evaluations, would you? Got that many bloody Amazon messages popping up. Your parcel's on the way. Must be grey hair, man. I'm not too bad. I'm 53, but I've got a full head of hair. It's a little bit grey, but I've still got my young boyish looks, fortunately. 25 years, wow. So, yeah, you win the prize so far. Married for another 7 years. They call it the 7-year itch, don't they? It's losing a bit of momentum, isn't it? I don't know. I can't tell you now what's going to happen. I'd say it's been bullish for me, but the way we've had this consistent down, we may push up, but I don't think it's going to be for long. Let's have a look. Hmm. 35 grey. I'm just going around the edges, nice and slow, but I have got nice thick hair. I suppose it's one of my my sort of better features. I've got friends who've lost their hair. The trouble is, I think as you get older, when you lose your hair, it makes you look older, doesn't it? So I'm quite lucky there. My wife says I improve with age, so I'm one of those. Okay, so what are we doing here now? This is sort of a downward wedge, isn't it? So I think it's likely we're going to come curling down, so we may take a chunk back of today's. Yeah, it's not looking good, is it, for the buyers here? Certainly looking like it's losing it, doesn't it? Fine wine. Some do. I got friends that just don't. In fact, I got a friend who was really good looking as a young lad. And I suppose when he was in his late teens, when we were mates in sort of a late 19, 20, 21 sort of age, he always got the best girls. And it was always frustrating. He was always better looking than me, but now he's aged really badly. And it makes me so happy. He's looking really old and rough now. And I've still got my boyish look, so it's swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Got to say, every time I see him, he's looking older, and it just makes my day. It is trying to push off. That's rejection. That is quite a few times. It's telling me that we may get another push. I mean, we've come down quite a few times there below this, and it's just pushing straight back up. What 3900 wasn't an issue on the way up, but now there is a big fight. Yeah, there is a bit, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of sellers there, isn't there? But the buyers are going, hold on a minute, you're at the bottom of our channel here. This is where we take over. So, I mean, ordinarily you'd say this was a failed breakout, wouldn't you? But I think it's a breakout with a bit of scrapping going on. But it's losing momentum, and it does keep rejecting, doesn't it, when it goes through the bottom of this measured move. So it may push up, but I don't know how much longer for. Could reach the 38.97. 38.97, that's here, isn't it? I have a feeling that the shorts are going to win over, I do. Yeah, I think we may take some of the days. I think let's see what happens with this bar here. See if the buyers push it back. Yeah, it does look like it wants to come down, mate, doesn't it? There is a pivot around there. Too many buyers got caught with the pants down. Oh, shoot. Yeah, it does look like it, doesn't it? I I think when it does go, it'll go quick, won't it? There'll be initial. You just never know, though, do you? Okay. I think that's told us what we need to know, isn't it? See what happens. See if it does get pushed back up. Yeah, 10,000 tick charts looking bearish now. I don't know. See, it's come down, pushed off, it's pushed off, it's pushed off, it's pushed off. They're trying. I can't see the shorts backing down myself. Yeah, too risky to get in there. Either way, really, isn't it? Tempting to go short, but look what happens. Comes down, pushes up. I think it's more likely it's going to come down. Bear me a second. Okay. Big bearish bar. Too risky, in my opinion. So look, Super Doji, right where I was thinking short. Yeah. Yeah, I can get why you're thinking short. Certainly a lot more red than green, isn't there? But I think it's likely that the shorts are going to work. See what happens here. See if this gets pushed off. I think if that gets pushed down below that, because I think if there's buyers here now, which there obviously is holding the prices up, I think it's likely that they may find that attractive. That's a new low, isn't it? And it's finished on its high. Rejection again. So if it does push up and it pushes up into this range, it may go higher, but after this lot, I can't see it lasting long. We'll move up to 4S before rotation. 904s, around about here. Yeah, I can see it pushing up. Like I say, how long for, I don't know. Because if it does break out of, usually in a trend, you'll go for a new extreme, which in this case is down. So I think it's risky going long or short. I think after this lot, I can see it maybe coming down some more. So noise at the moment, you're not wrong. Sorry, mate, I'll quieten down a bit. Yeah, it is a bit all this sideward stuff. Okay, so we pushed above the EMA. Let's see what happens here now. I think this will be short-lived, personally. I wouldn't feel confident going along at the moment. Yeah, more hand-warming time. I'd say there'll be some shorts in that trade there, expecting it to go down. So if it breaks above there, we may get breaks above there, we may get an half decent push. But it may just collapse. I don't know. It's hard to say at the moment, isn't it? I'm not confident doing anything at the moment. Is this it? I think it was inevitable we're going to get above here at some point, but I just think with all this, I don't think it's going to last long, personally. I mean, that's really, it's a trend, isn't it? It's a downward trend, that is. It's not just a couple of pushes down to the EMA and back up. It's you've got that initial 2 pushes down, but then you come up a bit and gone down some more. So I'd say we're coming out here, but I think then we're gonna take up some of the upward move for the day, aren't we? What was that? Yeah, I think we're probably going to do something like this and then down, and then we may get a bit more. Just as a guess. See what happens if it gets above this line. I think we'll have a little pop. Ooh. So that could be the pullback, couldn't it? Or a second push up, or it might just be the failure out of the... But some of you guys will be in that, won't they, if it does close? So you could say that's a break, couldn't you? It's nothing I can get involved in at the moment, that. Been waiting for new extreme downtrend. Yeah, so normally you'd think new extreme, wouldn't you? And that does look... this might be it. But I wouldn't be shocked if it comes back there, tip below, and then had another push. Okay, this might be your new extreme. Where's it come down to so far? Okay, so there's the bottom of there. There's 2 points to the bottom. See what happens here, because every time it's pushed below, it's rejected. Sideways, isn't it? If we can get a lower high here, that may give it the catalyst to push down some more. He took a short, went for 1 point, yeah. I'm certainly thinking bearish now at the moment. Trouble is, while we're in this sideways bit, I'd be worried about going short into the bottoms. Because every time it's pushed below here, it's rejected it straight back up, isn't it? So, yeah. Your point. Took that one, did you, I'm assuming? So it's come down to the bottom and bounced off it. See what happens here. If we can break below this line, then may go a bit I'd say there's probably going to be some longs in there. So if we can break below there, then it may come down a bit. We'll see. Yeah, rejection straight away. See, I'll be tempted to go long there, but just the way it's choppy at the moment. So if you went short off the tops, it came down to the bottom. If you went long off here, it went off, didn't it? If you went long off here, you made a bit. Tempted to go long there, but it's just risky. Especially as we've had this break and we've pushed below. We could come back up here a little bit before we go lower. It's hard to tell, so I think putting a long there, as tempting as it is off the bottom, is risky. So this could be a lower high. See, usually when we push down and then go sideways, we'll then push out the other side. But I don't like the way we've come out of this channel and it's kept going sideways. So there is a possible, depends on what happens there, possible lower high. Six ticks. If that stays around about there, no, it's not going to, is it? No. Yeah, I'm on the fence now. I don't know whether it's going up or down. I think if we can get above here, that and here, I think there's going to be some shorts in there. That might give it a bit of momentum. There's probably going to be some shorts there. So if we can get above here, then we may get a little bit of upwards. But after this long, I can't see it. I think it's going to be short-lived. Okay, you could call that a lower high, couldn't you? Let's see how that finishes. Let's see if that finishes bearish. No. If that finished on its low here, then we may say that's a lower high. I think with a strong push down and sideways, I think I would say it's lightly going to push down some more. Okay, there we go above there. The Naked Mongolian. Best name yet. 10,000. Tick chart 5 minutes. Sit at the bottom of the range. My bias is up, but waiting. Yeah. Yeah, so we've broken above here, haven't we? And then we've come back and sat on the top. Yeah, I just 2 legs up. It's just risky, isn't it? In fact, I think I'm going to call it a day, actually. What time is it? We're getting about 3 hours. My daughter's having a shout at the moment, and I'm being nagged to go Christmas food shopping, so at least we got a green day again, $366 up. That's good. That's 14 green days in a row, so I'm really pleased with that. Better day than yesterday. A little bit more easy, a little bit easier to read, although there's not a fantastic amount of setups. I think there was one there that I possibly could have taken. There was another one, but I thought that was a bit risky, but you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? So I think that's probably it. Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow, Thursday tomorrow, and then Friday I'll be doing other things Friday, probably spending more money anyway. So yeah, definitely be here tomorrow for sure. Quarter past 2:30. That's 9:15. Yeah, 10, 15 minutes before the market opens. So so thanks guys. Yeah, great, nice chat with everybody. We've got some new faces there. The Naked Mongolian. Some people pick the best names, don't they? So yeah, I'll see all you guys. So see you, Daniel. See you, Jacko, Ivan, Nicholas, the Naked Mongolian, Philip. Who have we missed? Accountability King. Oh, Sam, you're still there somewhere. Sam. Brant, you're still around, I think. What? Let's have a look who we missed. Where's our Emily? Is she there? You still there, Emily, somewhere? Good luck. You're doing your evaluations. Good luck. Michael F. What have we got? Lead loser. You've got to change your name, son. Keithy, if you're still there. Grand Sing Music. Sage Mark, Texas. That's everybody, I think. Excellent. The Naked Mongolia. I saw you further up. I thought I'd seen you somewhere. Okay, so yeah, have a great evening. I'm going to spend mine in the supermarket, I think, doing a Christmas shop. So have a great evening. If you're carrying on trading, good luck. And I will catch you all tomorrow.